So I have with me Felicity Urquhart. I hope I said it right, and I've got John Cunningham. Is that, or is it Josh?
Josh.
Josh. So where are you guys situated? I know that it's overseas.
Well, hello. Thanks for having us on, and thank you for playing our music and sharing what we do with your part of the country, the world, because we're from Australia.
Okay.
And we're in the central coast of Australia at the moment, and it's sunny morning and a beautiful clear sky. So a nice beach day it would be.
Now, tell me about the creation of your duo, because you probably came into your own right as musicians, and you decided to make a collaboration where you saw that there was synergy, allowing you to create together. So, when did you guys start solo and then as a duo?
Yeah, that's right. We've both about 3 decades and counting into our respective music careers before we started playing music together. Felicity's been a bit of a mainstay of the Australian country music scene here in Australia for a long time. And I've been a member of a band called The Waifs, which is kind of more folk roots based. And in fact, in our 33 years of history, we spent quite a bit of time in Canada actually playing a lot of your folk festivals over there. And but yeah, we'd had these two kind of separate careers for all that time, and then it was more or less that awful situation a few years ago where we were all locked in our homes and we couldn't go anywhere and do anything. We each got invited into something called the Song Club, which was an initiative run by a friend who sent us out a prompt every week, and we had to write a song to it. So we were kind of listening to each other's songs on a weekly basis, and I guess one of us had the bright idea, let's try and write some songs together sometime.
That would be me.
And so we did that. When we finally got released from our lockdown, we joined up and we wrote some songs together, and now we're starting on our third album. With 3 albums into our collaboration.
Nice. And I'm assuming that it's just your names as part of the actual albums?
Yeah, it is. And we've actually laughed about that quite a bit now because we both have significantly long names. Felicity Urquhart, Josh Cunningham. We should have gone with, I don't know,
a word
or something. But then we were sort of having an iron about it, thinking, well, maybe there's significance in our names because maybe people won't know who the word is. So we ran with our names, and now we're, as Josh said, working on the 3rd album. So it's going to stick with our names.
Oh, well, that's good. So the album that you last released, what was the title?
That was called Birdsong, and it was our most successful album to date. We actually picked up 3 golden guitars, which is kind of the highest award you can in the country music scene. Excuse me.
Bless you. One's coming. That's an Australian sneeze. I think they're the same in Canada.
Okay, give or take, depending. So you won 3 golden guitars, which is the first time I've heard it, which is a good thing because there's so many awards across the world that it's almost difficult to juggle them. And was the album entirely just country music, or was there anything else mixed into the actual album?
I think it's just a mix of all the influences that both Josh and I have had over our music life and influences, a lot of folk roots influences. So it was kind of really hard, blues and country. So it was hard to just go, oh, it belongs in that box. And I think because our album was called Birdsong, and the front cover had this gorgeous cage with a little blue superb fairy wren on top of the cage, free, So that really fixed what we're about. We just sort of don't want to have to necessarily go, it belongs in that box or that cage. It's what we do, what we write, and what we play, and that's the sound of it. So we don't overthink it too much.
So now that you've released this album, you're probably touring around Australia in regards to promoting the album and whatnot. But When was it released? I'm assuming it was probably released last year.
Yeah, the album.
Yeah.
The album was actually was it
Was it the year
before?
So 2
We had
years
a good
ago.
last
Okay.
big year of touring that record,
Okay.
and the song "Ola," which you've played,
Mhm.
is first song off our next album, which probably won't come out until 2026. But we're going to have a long year recording in the studio, and we still do live shows as well. But this is more of a recording year than a touring year.
Well, I can't wait for that third album to come out, because that song, I mean, it starts off so unexpectedly, and then all of a sudden it goes off on third gear. It's an amazing song. There's a lot of energy. The lyrics are fun to listen to, and the music behind it, supporting the lyrics, is tremendous. The only thing I didn't, and I apologize, I didn't prepare for this particular question, but I'm assuming that both of you play guitar.
We both play guitar, but Josh is the guitarist in the family, and he is not only an amazing... I can talk about him, just don't listen, Josh. He's an amazing guitarist, but he is unique in the fact that Josh also makes his own guitars. Now, there's a lot of incredible guitarists in the world, but to actually physically make your own instruments and play them, it's remarkable. He's got many talents. He's got more than his fair share.
Now, when you're composing your songs, I'm assuming that you either go full guitar if that's the main instrument, or do you actually use another instrument to help you flesh out the harmony or the melodies and the tunes?
Yeah, it's interesting. Different instruments will actually really inspire songs. Like there are certain songs that wouldn't happen unless you had a certain instrument in your hand. And we're certainly not limiting ourselves to guitars. We've got banjos and ukuleles. In fact, Felicity wrote a really great song on that last album, Birdsong, that really jumped out of a little 8-string ukulele that she had. So she just picked it up and was noodling one day, and just the unique sound and flavour of it inspired a song. So we certainly... we're not confining ourselves to just guitars, even though I think it's personally the best instrument there is.
There's usually strings involved. We do. I can play piano as well, but I've never actually recorded with piano. But up here, we're in the studio at the moment. And I don't know if you move your shoulder, or maybe not. Maybe if we do that, if you move your head that way. That way?
Okay. Yeah, I can see the banjo leaning.
There you go.
That's a lot of instruments. I love it when my brain goes zap and I can't figure out the question. So you're here doing this, and I appreciate everything that you're doing, which is great listening and great playing and great composing. But I'd like to know, as humans, because you're not just musicians, do you have pastimes that you like to use once in a while to kind of clear the music fog and then just have fun, have exercise, barbecue, you name it?
Well, Felicity mentioned, one of my favourite passions and pastimes is building guitars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get a chance to do it now because we've got 2 teenage daughters in the mix, and so probably both of our favourite pastime is running around after them, making sure they're happy and occupied. But no, we do. We love food. We love to cook.
Come on, you love cycling.
I'm a little bit into cycling, not full scale, but I take my dog for a run on the bike every day, so that's always fun.
Okay.
And just building it. For me, I like sewing. I like construction even. Anything where you can create something with your hands and stand back at the end of the day and feel good about what you've done.
Yeah, he's so handy in the kitchen too that he's been asked by the kids over different births and, oh, Mum, no offence, but we would like Josh to decorate the cake. Like, you can make it, but we want him to decorate it because he really cares about the detail. And then, when mothers have turned up and the parents to see drop the kids off for a party and they see the cake, they're like, Josh, can I book in for a cake decoration too, please? He doesn't do things by half. That's what I'm trying to say. It's always got to be pretty specky.
Okay, just so I'm clear though, because I'm getting some weird signals. Are you two a thing?
Can you get that one? That's a thumbs up.
When did you guys decide to make your solo lives as a unit?
That was when Josh turned up for a cup of tea and brought his little tenor banjo.
I love you.
Pretty obvious that there was something special about this. Awesome. We both felt really lucky to have found each other, and yeah, we've both been through some hard stuff though to get here to this happy place.
Well, I'm glad that you guys survived the hard stuff and that you're both together and you're creating lovely magic. The only other question I have, but before I lead to that, is with family life. Have you guys found it somewhat difficult when you're doing touring or when you're actually going to gigs late night or midday or whatnot?
Oh, look, it can be challenging, but we do have some pretty amazing family and friends that love to step in and hang out with our daughters. I mean, they're pretty cool to hang out with, but their Nan and Pop are always at the ready to step in when needed. But we love to take the kids whenever we can too, because they're both great musicians themselves. They're grown up around it. It's in their blood, nice. And we love to have them as part of it as well. And if they're not playing music, they might get up and do a song with us on stage, but usually they're always at the merch table, and it's very sales. They really know how to upsell things. But actually, the youngest one's got her own business. She's setting up her own merch next to ours and kind of outselling us, unfortunately.
She makes jewelry, and it's really awesome.
What's the name of her business?
Oh, hang on. Sorry?
What was the name of her business?
Oh, I wish Cloudy Dreams.
Cloudy Dreams.
Yeah, it's not on the internet yet because we just let her sell at the gigs. But she's wanting to go to the markets, and it's awesome because she makes it all herself, and she just turned 12.
Oh wow!
So it's pretty cool. It's not a teenager yet. You said.
Yeah. Well,
they act like
she's a preteen.
A twin. I don't know if they call them that in Canada, but.
Have you released any vinyl with the previous album?
We did release the Song Club, our first album, on vinyl as well. Yes, and Birdsong. So we'll probably do the same again with the next album, and it's been lovely though. People still have CD players, and then people are going back to vinyl, and then there's those that purely have it on a streaming platform. So we really are more of the dinosaur kind of breed, but we're in the modern world and trying to stay current on social platforms and everything.
It's great though, because it's such a nice sound, and you get that lovely large size. As you get older, you can notice. You're wearing glasses too.
Yeah.
When you get the album size, it's just so much easier to see it.
It's true, but there's one thing that I remember when I was growing up. Vinyls were a thing in my household because my dad had a stereo unit with 8-track tapes and the vinyls. But the only problem is that if the vinyl gets dusty, you have to make sure that you can clean it without doing any scratches. And if the needle breaks, then you have to go buy something to replace the needle. Otherwise, you're kind of SOL, as they say. So the sound that comes off of vinyls is, from what I've been told, is above par from CD and from streaming because it's a whole different dimension. There's a lot more full body to it, if I can use that term. But
Yeah, I think I think there's probably something to that. It's whether it's just a romantic, nostalgic thing, and we put it on, our ears fool us into thinking it sounds better. But I swear it does. It's got a warmth and richness. It's an analog signal as opposed to the digital, which maybe can be more clinical and not quite as warm sounding. So vinyl all the way, I say.
Suits our music, that's for sure.
Yeah, I prefer, well, for blues anyways, so I prefer analog in many cases because it brings out the emotions more than anything else. Now, the last question I have for you, lovebirds, is what's your favorite food dish? And that's a question that both of you are going to answer separately.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, my favourite food is potato. I would eat potatoes every meal. If I had to choose one thing that I could eat for the rest of my life, it would be potato. And the good thing about it is it's so versatile, so you can have it in so many ways. But probably my favourite way is very simple. It's just, roast potatoes in the oven. Roast slowly with some nice olive oil until they're golden and crunchy. I grew up on them, and Fliss does a really great dish of that. And it's probably, if we go over a day without having potatoes like that, we're definitely having them the following night.
Okay.
Tonight. We'll have it tonight.
We'll have it tonight. In fact, it makes, I don't know whether you probably would, well, no doubt you'd know if you're Canadian. It's almost like your second national anthem, isn't it? Like the Stompin'
Tom Connors.
Spud.
That's one. Bud the Spud is one of his songs. But I'll give you my take on potatoes. You can do anything and everything that you want. You can scallop, you can boil, you can steam, you can broil, you can put them in a stew. You can use them baked, mashed, riced, you name it. You can even do potato pancakes or potato hash. So everything and anything for potatoes is great.
I'm going to go right from now. I'm going to go have potatoes for breakfast after we get done talking.
We'll have them for breakfast and dinner.
Yeah. What about yourself, Felicity?
I don't know what to say about my favourite food because I love so many different things. I love when you cook anything. I'm going to say I do love a good pad thai or a pad see ew. So a bit of Thai food. But I love a good steak. Is it okay to have a few things?
It is.
Go with steak. It matches perfectly with potato.
I love a good steak.
Yeah, so do I, especially when they're thick enough that you can do 2 minutes and a half on one side, flip it, 2 minutes and a half on the other, and that's after you spend 24 hours of marinating it. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm
coming over.
Alberta beef.
Well, we've got our own here in New Brunswick. So we try to buy local with everything that's going on globally. Mm-hmm. So,
Right.
Look, you guys were fantastic. I appreciate the time that you took. The coordination from Tina was absolutely spot on. And that's the end of the interview, unless you want to add in something. Do you have a website that you want us to visit?
Yes, it's felicityandjosh.com. And we just want to say thank you. Again, how lovely is it to connect, you know?
Yeah, it's really amazing to, your music goes out. We've written and recorded this song on the central coast of New South Wales in Australia. It's gone out into the world. You've stumbled across it. We've connected and had a chat, and it's been lovely. And
we're coming over from barbecue.
Yeah. and thanks so much, because you're obviously, we actually would have liked to ask you a few questions about yourself. You're obviously a music lover. Perhaps you're a musician as well. But
No.
in any case, you're doing a great to support music and share your love of music with your audience. So thanks for doing that and including us.
Well, the funny thing, I'll answer your question quickly. Yes, I was a musician, but at home. Basically, I took I bugged my parents to actually take piano or organ at the age of 6. They decided 1 year of piano. They bought me a Hammond organ, full heavy thing with pedals, and I learned organ for, I'd say, 10 years. I was asked to play in a church. I refused because I was too shy. And then I moved on. I moved away from that, and then I decided to take up accordion, which apparently I need to get another holster because it's no longer fitting. I dabble more than I play, and I prefer to play the people that actually make music sing better than I do. But I do enjoy having this media that I can actually go to, because after 30 years of doing radio, one thing that I was missing was having a heart-to-heart chat with artists and asking them about their projects, about their favorite musical instrument, their favorite tuning, their favorite everything and anything that could come under the sun. But these three questions are typically the ones that I always ask to make it surprising and fun.
Yeah.
So
You're a bit
with
foodie though too.
huh?
You're a bit of a foodie. I've checked from your social posts. Has that been another part of your work life?
It is. I wouldn't say food. More that I put things together and I try them out. If it doesn't work, I don't repeat the recipe. But it's something that I enjoy doing. It calms. It's my zen. I don't care if the kitchen is messy, but I do the dishes to make certain that everything is ready for the next day. But I also like some takeout food. Unfortunately, it varies from Lebanese to Mexican to Chinese. Canadian food I do here. I do roasts. I do mean beef steak. Mean chili. I mean, I have fun with it.
Yum. Oh man, I'm hungry now.
So